Hello, I am Trifina Wilson, and I'm a business and emotional intelligence strategist. And welcome to the Get It Leadership Podcast. If you are an entrepreneur, startup, or business owner, then the Get It Leadership Podcast is just for you. Every week, I will be discussing tips you can use to improve your emotional intelligence leadership, well-being, and business. I will show you how to achieve success by using the tools you already have. Today we have a really special, inspiring guest, Mr. David Barclay. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited to hear your answers to these amazing questions I'm going to ask you. So you're the CEO and founder of Elevate Founders, which is a coaching and consulting company. So anyone that has entrepreneurial spirit, you are the best person to be working with. You work with founders and startups to scale up their business. And what I really like about what you're doing is you're helping business owners to develop leadership skills through coaching and emotional intelligence. So what inspired you on your journey?
Good question. I think when you start a business, when you first start, you always think you have an idea that nobody else has had, or you can do it better than anyone else has ever done. And so at a university, I started my own distribution business, and I did pretty well at it. It was okay. I eventually sold it a couple of years later. But it was interesting. I had a number of conversations over the sort of 2-3 years I was building it, where I was talking to some entrepreneurs, or people just a bit more successful in business, or built bigger businesses. And you'd sort of talk about your business, and they'd go, "Oh, okay, that sounds interesting." And I look back at those kind of conversations, and I think they were kind of saying, "Oh, you're going to have some struggles around this," or "Yeah, you really need to get your margin up to this," or that's the kind of impression I got, that they always knew a little bit more about business than I did, and nobody really kind of helps you. And so I think it's really hard to kind of know where to go to get the help that you need. Like running a business is really, it can be really lonely. Nobody really understands the pressures of it. Everyone thinks, "Oh, you run your own business, take as much holiday as you want. You've got a company card, why don't you buy a supper," and all that kind of stuff. And they don't realise that you're stressing about paying salaries at the end of the month. You're, wake up in the middle of the night because you're worried about a presentation you'll do the next day. And all these kind of day-to-day pressures of running a business. You could face bankruptcy and all those kind of things that most people don't really get. And some people just don't really want to know. They just want to, see you as a mate. And so I think what really inspired me to get into it was just trying to help people in quite a lonely, isolated role, to sort of really just help them to navigate the choppy waters of running a business to get it, really thriving and where they want it to be.
That's fantastic. I love how you're focusing on the founders that are, like you said, it's quite a lonely time that they're going through, because you are kind of like a one-man band or one-woman band. So what would you say to anyone that's thinking about starting their own business?
Top tips for starting a business. Number one, there's never a perfect time. So don't wait to go, "Oh, well, markets will do this in 3 years' time, and then I'll be ready." And at some point, you just got to go for it. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be no perfect time to do it. You just got to do it. Number two, have a sort of outline of a plan. It doesn't mean you have to, solely focus on that plan, only do that plan. But you've got to have some sort of plan of how you're going to get from A to B. The third thing I'd say is it always takes more money than you think. I think a lot of people go, "Yeah, they start a business, they've got a few £1,000 set aside or whatever. Second week in, their laptop breaks, got to buy a new laptop. Suddenly there's a whole chunk of your working capital gone." It always takes a bit more money than you think. And it also takes a bit more time than you think too. I think people go, "Oh, well, I've been really successful in this business. I'm going to have a couple of contacts. I'll just go and set up, and within 12 months, I'll have a business turning over X million, and I'm employing 50 people. Never quite works like that. So just be prepared that it takes a little bit more time. Like, not every startup's going to be Instagram and sell for $1 billion within 500 days. In fact, it's the only company that's done it. So you're going to be doing well to emulate that. And so just be kind of realistic. And the last thing I'd say is surround yourself with people who've either done it before and can kind of really help and guide you. Don't try and do it all yourself. Just look for good people who can help, because there are people out there who will help. And yeah, just try and build a good group of people around you to kind of help and support you through it, because you'll need it.
I think that's really important, to surround yourself with people that have gone through it or know how to go through the different hurdles that you are going to come across. I think that is so important. And I like the fact that you say that, you know, there is people out there that think they can make a lot of money on Instagram and it's kind of an instant kind of fame. But the reality sometimes is it does take a lot of work. So it's nice to kind of have that reality check that, great, if you are going to make a successful business quite quickly, fantastic. But the reality is the majority of it is kind of time and effort and hard work that goes into it. So if someone does want to start a business, how does Elevate Founders help them?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Well, we typically work with companies probably just past that kind of just startup phase. Mm-hmm. So they might have a couple of employees and they're looking to kind of scale and grow a little bit more. A lot of the things that I do with people on a day-to-day level is with business owners, is the primary thing is business owners spend very little time actually strategically thinking about their business, that little kind of on the business time. Most of the time, in fact 97% of the time, they're doing stuff in the business. They're kind of just in there firefighting, reacting to what's going on around, and meeting to investor pitch to sales meeting to interviews or whatever. So I think the best thing that I do from any of my clients is give them kind of real kind of on the business perspective, to try and help them to think a bit more strategically, get them out of the hamster wheel that just keeps turning at 100 miles an hour every single day, and just give them a bit of clear head time to think about really where they're trying to get to, what are the important things they need to be doing, and how to streamline and accelerate that process.
Fantastic. So what has been your most memorable moment from the work that you have done?
Wow. Most memorable moment. I think I had a client a few years ago who we started working with him, and an investor pulled out of their business. And so within a week or two of me starting to coach him, totally unbeknown to him, totally unbeknown to me, we'd go from looking at how to really grow the business through to helping him actually just mentally stay together as the business was kind of being folded up around him. And he went pretty much from bankruptcy. So investor pulled out, also left him with a whole lot of debt in the business that he was then paying off. And so over the last 2.5 years, it's been rebuilding his career from that kind of horrific point where you think you're, building something really cool, to it being all taken away or just crumbling around, to then rebuilding him and rebuilding his career and rebuilding his confidence and all that kind of stuff. And I think just over 2 years later, I think he's gone from being bankrupt to struggling to pay off this debt to being worth it's over £1 million now in assets and businesses that he's building and developing, which is really exciting to kind of see that level of change in someone.
That's fantastic. That's a great story. Fantastic. So in terms of that story, do you feel that emotional intelligence was quite important in that journey from what had happened to where he went to? Do you feel that as a business owner, how do you feel that emotional intelligence is important as a business owner?
So there's two kind of things to that question. So first, so for them, what was really interesting, so one of the things I do for companies with the CEOs, the senior management team, and sometimes occasionally with recruitment as well, is we do emotional intelligence profiles to see where someone's strong and weak and how that might play out, around the office and what they do under pressure and all those kind of things. And we did it with this guy a few months after all this stuff with his previous business had imploded. And what came out of it was that he had lower than normal self-regard. So he would actually try and do loads of do things for everybody else, and he would always be the last to get paid. He'd be the last to look after himself. And over a bit of coaching with, through him, helping him build that self-regard, he suddenly started, not putting himself first, not, putting himself above everybody else or anything like that, but he started giving himself more respect, and respecting how he operates more and what he brought to the table. So suddenly in negotiating what he was doing, the value that he was bringing business and the businesses that he was involved in, that just went up and up, and therefore his value in them went up and up. So that would be how specifically it really helped with him. I think generally with business owners, you can't run a business or build a business at some point without interacting with people. So that might be investors, where you got to go and meet them and really connect with them. That might be running a team of with your staff and getting the best out of them. Or it might just be how you deal with clients. If you're going from a one-man band, all you need to do is you're self-employed. And you're just interacting with clients, you still need to really understand people and how they work. And running a startup or running any business has a lot of stress points. And what people do under pressure is quite critical. And a lot of the time things can be going really, really well. And then suddenly a big pressure point will hit, or there's a cash flow problem, a sales falling through, an investor's falling through, whatever it is. And it's what people do under that pressure. And I think having a really good understanding of emotional intelligence and building your emotional intelligence will really help you develop as a leader to get the best of yourself and the best out of the people around you. I think the stats are that you're 400% more likely to be successful in life with high emotional intelligence than high intellectual intelligence. Not to say that both aren't important, but emotional intelligence, in business, when you're dealing with people all day, every day, is so important. And actually, emotional intelligence isn't static, so it can be developed. It can, you can learn new patterns of behaviour. You can learn how to adapt in different situations better. And I think for a lot of business owners, that's so key. As you grow a business, particularly a fast-growing business, where suddenly within 12 months you might go from 4 or 5 employees to 34 or 35 employees. That's a huge growth. You've got a whole lot of new people that you've got to inspire, motivate, challenge, grow, invest into. And I think that's where kind of emotional intelligence can really play out.
And that's what I love about emotional intelligence. As you said, it's not static. There is there are different ways that you can improve, evolve, be agile, learn more about yourself. The perfect example that you said, he didn't really value what he was bringing to the table. And I think that is the key, to be able to know your value and what you are bringing to the table, to the organization you are building and the people that you are working with. So what have kind of been your challenges and how have you overcome them?
Good question. So in terms of my personal challenges, in terms of areas that I've had to grow in, or some of the challenging clients that I've had to work with?
Well, let's say your challenges. That'd be nice. Your perspective of how you've dealt with them.
My challenges. I think, so running a business can be, as you said earlier, it's quite lonely. So when things are going really well, it's the best thing in the world when you're running your own business. When things are going really badly, it's tough. Like, it's really bad. And there are times when, you just, when you've had a couple of bad days, you're having a bad week, and things aren't quite going as you'd like them to. Building that kind of emotional resilience to keep getting out of bed, keep doing and keep plugging away, is massive. It's so important. And actually what happens over time, you will get to the other side of it. But you've just got to sit with that pain for a little bit, sit with discomfort that pushes you out of a comfort zone to grow and to get better. I always think, the worst day of running your own business, generally, or bad days of running your own business, it's so far outweighed by the good days of running your own business. I think, being in, having that autonomy and having that control over your life is amazing. And our business is growing, we're employing more people, and that's like one of the real joys for me, is just you're having a real impact in people's lives when you're helping them pay rent and mortgages and feeding them and their families. It's really exciting to be able to do that and to have a really positive impact in people's lives. But not every day is like that, and so you just got to really push through things sometimes. And as a business owner, the stakes are quite high, so you've really got to back yourself and be flexible in terms of how you get through those tough times to get to the other side.
Great. So for business owners, what are your top 3 tips for growing your business working from home?
Top 3 business are great. Top 3 tips for growing your business from home. So number 1, plan each day. So have a clear outcomes of what you want to accomplish, maybe for that day or for that week, and check them off. It's easy to procrastinate at home. Nobody's watching. Nobody's looking at what you're doing. You're not in the office where you've got people around. So you've got to really plan your work, and particularly if you've got a team of people working for you. If you're planning your work, you're being productive and you're on top of it and you're not just reacting to what's happening, that's going to really help them to plan their work and keep ahead of that too. So that'd be my first tip, plan the work. Number 2 would be flexible and be adaptive. So working from home is a bit of a challenge. Some people love it, some people hate it. So before this current pandemic, I would spend about half my time working from home, the other half around in Oxford and Bristol and London predominantly. And now that's not happening, and you've got to adapt to that. So be adaptive with your plans. Don't be too rigid. Don't be too inflexible. If something's not working, that's okay. Change tack quickly, and reset goals, and think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and reevaluate. And probably the other tip I'd have is that all those people that you thought, oh, I'd love to get in touch with them, but they're so busy, or every time I try and contact them, you're really struggling to get a date or time in the diary to meet. You'll never have a better time than now to have those, e-coffees or, a 5 o'clock beer with somebody over Zoom or, Google Meets or something. So you'll actually have you've potentially got great opportunities to get in front of people and have more time with them. And I think this is a great time to be really investing in relationships. Particularly those people that are often quite hard to pin down because they're so busy. Most of the time now, people have more time to chat and more time to connect. So I think just invest into relationships and really use that kind of time wisely.
I think that is important, to invest in the relationships and to reach out, and there's no time like the present.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that in terms of meetings, so if you're running a team, people aren't missing meetings. Like, they're still doing their meetings, they're still being productive. What people are missing is the human interaction. It's almost the walks that people have on the way to the meeting, or grabbing a coffee with somebody, having a quick 5-minute chat about what they did at the weekend, grabbing lunch. That's what people are missing, is that genuine human interaction. And so where possible as a business owner, with your team or with clients, just build that human connection with people. The work will get done anyway. The work is, meetings, everything else is going to happen. But just really invest into people as people. And that's really important.
It really is. Everyone seems to be talking about the new normal. So for this new normal, what would you like as the new normal for you? In your perspective, in your eyes, what does the new normal look like?
I think we'll see more people working from home. I think we'll see less commuting around. I think we'll see more people reevaluating what's actually important. In a time when you can't go out and spend money on lots of things that you don't really need but you really want, I think people will sort of reevaluate what's important to them. So what that means for work is I think people will generally have a better work-life balance. I think lots of people have really loved having regular exercise, being able to get out and valuing that time when they can do that and they're not sat on a train, packed into a train with hundreds of other people. So I think those things will be quite important. I mean, that's sort of the other side of this current situation. I think as we come out of the situation, there'll be a lot of mental health challenges that people will face. I think what it's shown is that, when, as humans, I believe we're made to be in connection with other humans. We like human contact. We like, conversations and be able to, to meet with people. That's something that everybody, I think, who I've spoken to has really missed, is just being able to see friends and having that human contact. So I think that's going to be really important. And the other side of this is how we do that and how we address some of those mental health challenges that have, come up through this time.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of put their lives in perspective. You reevaluate what's important to you, and you then appreciate what you do have in your life. And I'm just excited for the new normal in terms of improved well-being. We've gone through something that's, quite life-changing, literally. And everyone should be more empathetic to one another, and to have these new practices that they've been doing, to carry them forward, not just to kind of do them while we've been going through what we've been going through, but to continue it so it's a new way of life. Your top tips have been amazing, and I think it's really important that I'm helping other listeners as well note these top tips down and actually put some of them into practice as well, which is really important. So what do you find yourself doing that you weren't doing before the pandemic?
What am I doing now? I wasn't doing before. Drinking loads more tea. Me and my wife are both working from home, and I never really drank tea, but suddenly you just, after an hour or two of work, so there you go, I'll go make us both a cup of tea. Yeah, so drinking tea and eating Jaffa cakes. I love Jaffa cakes, but I didn't really eat that many of them before, and now I'm doing loads more of it. Probably bad habits, I think. I was speaking to a friend of mine in Spain after 2 weeks of lockdown here, and I said, he said, how's it going? And I was like, yeah, not too bad. And he goes, in a couple of weeks time, you'll get to a point where you suddenly find yourself at the fridge with the fridge door open thinking, I'm going to eat something, having just eaten something 20 minutes before, and you won't know why. I was like, that's and sure enough, that's happened. So I think probably got to slipped into a few bad eating habits, probably. But that's probably one of the things.
I haven't had a Jaffa cake for years.
So good. Could have rationed them though.
Yeah, they are quite Moorish. Once you kind of have one, you kind of go, well, I might as well finish the pack, really.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 9 in the packets. How bad can they be? Exactly.
Thank you, David. You've been amazing. If anyone wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
So probably the best way, go to our website. It's evfounders.com. I would give anybody a free kind of 30-minute coaching session to chat through any of the kind of problems that you're facing with your business, just to kind of look at how to help you with some of those things and what coaching could do with you. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, David Barclay. You see probably hopefully see a good photo of me. Probably not, but something that looks like me vaguely.
It's a good photo.
Okay, there we go. So find a photo of me, and again, just connect with me on LinkedIn and kind of chat there. Just leave a message. Because I'm really passionate about kind of unlocking potential in people, and I think business owners. So anyone who's got a bit of a block around something in their business, please just reach out. I'd happily chat, and we'll see where we go from there.
Thank you, David. Well,
Pleasure.
I hope to see you soon again.
Definitely.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe now for new videos. Please let me know in the comment section below if you found these tips useful. And if you would like more professional one-to-one coaching, please feel free to contact me at egetisleadership.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.